Hi, welcome to Charter Oak Fiberworks. This is a podcast about knitting and spinning and all things fiber related here in New England, where I live with my partner and my two adorable children. And this is just kind of a chronicle of all of the things that I make and buy and places I go to remember what I've done and to have you guys join me. So thank you for coming. If you are new, thank you for finding me, and I hope you stick around. And if you have been watching, thank you. Thanks for sticking around and hanging out with me and listening to me blather on here on and on, but thanks. All right, so two big things have happened in the last 3 weeks since I podcasted. The first one is I cut off all my hair. I'll put a photo in here of how long it was. It was down to my hips. And now I have cut it all off and bleached it and dyed it bluish green. It was much more teal previously, but it started to wash out. I'll probably dye it bluish green again. I don't know, or purple. I don't know. I'm playing with it. I'm happy to have the opportunity to play and change. I had the same hair for 4 years, and that's a really long time for me to have kept my hair the same. So I'm excited for some change. I like my new haircut. I'm gonna trim it up again soon. I have an idea better of what I want to do now that I've had short hair again for a little bit. Anyway, I love it. So it's super fun. It has no product in it today. It's been kind of rainy. So I didn't want to have product and then get caught in rain with it. So the other thing is I finished my sweater. I have an adult sweater. I have an adult sweater for Rhinebeck. I am totally ready. If Rhinebeck came tomorrow, I would be there in a full sweater. Done. Okay, let me talk about it for a second. Oh, I'll stand up. I'll stand up and show you. Oh, my thing's flipped up. So there is my sweater. Okay, so it is not blocked yet. My ends are all woven in, but they have not been trimmed yet. I'm waiting until after I block it, so that as it stretches and stuff, my ends don't like just pop out wherever they want, right? Like wing, wing. I didn't want that. So I'm leaving them on until I get to that point. But they're all woven in, which is the worst part of knitting anything, is weaving in your ends or sewing something together. Sewing something together trumps sewing in ends, but sewing in ends is second. Okay. My sweater is the North Shore Pullover by Tin Can Knits. So it's Tin Can Knits, which means you can make it for your newborn all the way up to an adult man that is 6 feet tall or more. Not 6 feet, that's not even that big. Like 6'6". Like, you can knit all sizes with Tin Can Knits. I love them. I feel like their patterns are really easy to read, and I could wax poetic about their patterns on and on. I just love that they size them for everyone. They're easy to read. They're intuitive. They're easy to hack. They're easy to adjust for anything that you need to do with them. They are easy to make work out. So I'm going to Rhinebeck in this sweater. Look for me. So my sweater's a little bit big, and that's before it's blocked, so it's going to be even bigger. I don't mind. I am excited I'm going to wear it with, I'm trying to parent at the same time I'm doing this because I am squeezing this in wherever. And I totally forgot my intro thing. I'll get back to that in just a minute. Let me finish talking about my sweater. It's too big. I don't mind. I'm going to wear leggings and boots and look super fall and cozy for Rhinebeck this year. And I know everyone talked about the weather not being Rhinebeck appropriate. And I have a couple things to say about that. One, while I agree with you, am I wearing my sweater backwards? I might be wearing my sweater backwards. I'm totally wearing it backwards. It's fine. It's fine. Rhinebeck weather. Okay. I totally want to have sweater weather for Rhinebeck. But there are lots of people complaining out there about the weather we had last year. And I don't know where you all live or if you're new out here or whatever. But having gorgeous weather all the way through fall is not something to complain about. Because, how old's my daughter? 7? 7 years ago in October, we had a giant storm that came through and knocked out power for 10 days here in Connecticut. So, I will take 85-degree weather in October way above having a snowstorm that knocks out all my power. I'm just saying. I was fine. I wore my shawl most of the day and I didn't get to wear I didn't have a sweater. This is my first sweater. Anyway, I can't get over it. I'm so excited. And I should take it off because my house is slowly heating up. But I loved the weather last year. I went with my kids and my whole family. And it was so nice. Like we picnicked outside, we hung out. And while it wasn't sweater weather and raining, it was beautiful to hang out in. So, no complaints from me here if it's another 85-degree Rhinebeck. I will just tie my sweater onto my backpack and be proud that I made something for it. And I'll get lots of use out of it anyway, because I live in New England, so there's going to be snow and it's going to be cold, and I'll be wearing the sweater a lot. Anyway, now I have to take it off because it is so hot. And I am totally wearing it backwards, but it's fine. Yep, totally on backwards. I've turned off the air conditioner so that you guys can hear me. Okay, see, here's the actual front. See, it doesn't have the short rows here. I've done short rows before, but not where I've had to pick out and knit the like folded over stitch. So that was a new adventure for me. The sweater is bottom up, and I liked that once I got to the fun yoke part, I was just done with the sweater. I did appreciate that. But I will say that it was hard to knit the sweater and have like all of the rest of the sweater hanging on my lap. So I'd like hang on my lap, right? And you knit along, you knit along, and then you hold it up and the whole thing has to go whoop and spin around to straight, and then you put it back down and you knit, and then you pick it up and it has to unwind itself, right? That's just kind of a pain to do for the whole, for the entire sweater. And I'm not little by any means, so it's a sweater that I had on my lap, a giant DK weight sweater, and I'm really bothered by the amount of glare I have in my glasses, but that's okay. All right, anyway, welcome to Charter Oak Fiberworks podcast. I already covered that part, but what I did not cover is where you can find me, right? Did I welcome you to my podcast? Let's do that again, just in case. Welcome to Charter Oak Fiberworks podcast. This here is a podcast about knitting and spinning mostly, but I dabble in crochet and weaving and kind of anything fibery and lots of history related things. So, you can find me most active on Instagram, and that's where you can find out where I've been, what I'm doing, what stores I'm visiting, where I'm traveling to a lot too. I do like to travel quite a bit. And just kind of see what's going on. If you want to catch what musical we watch, because as a family we watch a musical every Sunday. So if you want to know what musical we're watching, or if you have a suggestion for a musical, you can leave it below and we'll try to fit it in. I've been asking people for suggestions. I have a long list. I grew up watching musicals. Sorry, I've digressed horribly. I'll talk about musicals at the end. But if you want to keep up on all of that, Instagram is the place to be. It's also the place that I'll reply to you if you have questions. And you can send me messages on there also. And I'll reply to those there. You can also find me on Ravelry. I am not as active on Ravelry, and it would be wrong to say I don't go on very often. I'm on Ravelry all the time, but I am not updating things or checking my messages or things like that. Every couple of months, I just do a big dump where I dump all my photos on there of my projects I've made for the last couple months and call it good. So I do have a group on there. Nothing is happening in it. Sorry. I should be better about that, but I'm not, and I'll figure that out later if that seems like I would want to do. If you are looking for show notes to figure out what anything is that I have knit, what yarn I've made it with, what stores I've been to, you can find that all in my show notes, which are found at charteroakfiberworks.wordpress.com. Yeah, it's all on there, all linked up so that all you have to do is click on it. I am trying to figure out a way to put show notes below in the drop bar here, but I have to get on my computer to do that and copy and paste. I don't know. I'm just lazy. I could work on that. Or you could just go to charteroakfiberworks.wordpress.com. I may have an actual domain name someday. My husband's a web developer, so you think I would have one, but I don't. And that's okay. I think. I don't know. I could complain about it more, but it's fine. Okay. I need a necklace on or something. Okay, that is all that blah I started at the beginning. If you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you stick around to see more. If you have been watching me through this whole thing, through all 9 episodes of mine, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around and listening to what's going on as I just talk to myself. Not to myself, to you, because you guys are my friends, and I'm happy to talk to you and tell you all about what's going on. That was my FO, was my sweater, my Rhinebeck sweater. I'll talk more about Rhinebeck at the end because it's coming up. Is it weird to be like in July and be like, Rhinebeck is coming? It is coming, people. Like winter is coming from, anyway, sorry. I have a hoe. I have a hoe that I've put into hibernation. I've actually hibernated 2 projects this week, which is very unlike me because I am very, very, very much a product knitter. I like to finish things and I like to not have them sit and stash, and I like to use them. So my first hoe is the Woodland Walk Socks by This Handmade Life. Look at this beautiful little detailing on the edge of the sock here. My yarns are Once Upon a Corgi, La Dame Death. I don't know, D-A-M-E. I don't know how to. And then this is a mystery brown from my stash that I think I know somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it on the internet. I got it in a swap somewhere. This has an Eye of Partridge Hill, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you want to make them, you can just go grab it on there. I did a 1x1 twisted rib, Eye of Partridge Hill, down my socks. So the only thing is the toe. I'm gonna have to knit back a little bit on, we'll see if I actually do. So the pattern said to knit to 12 stitches. And I was like, do I do that? Do I not? I was unsure of what to do. So I knit to 12 stitches, which means I had 6 on each needle. And then I made this super pointy, weird, flappy toe thingy. Can you see my, Okay, this weird floppy toe thing. I think I was supposed to do 12 stitches on each needle, which would have put me back here and given me a nice toe. But I didn't, I went all the way down. I didn't trust my gut. On the other one, I'll do better. I'll pull this one back. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to. And that is my one sock. I love this yarn. I love this pattern in this yarn. It has a little bit of gold stellina in it, so it has a little bit of sparkle, which I don't think you'll be able to see. No, it's not picking up any of the sparkle. It has a little bit of sparkle in it, and it is beautiful. But I have actually taken this and hibernated it until November because I have been distracted by a different sock project. So my other sock project, I'll just jump into it because why not? It's my whips and I can do it however I want. All right, my second sock that I was distracted by, because my family loves Shark Week. So we watch, on Shark Week, my kids kind of get unlimited screen time if they're watching Shark Week stuff, and we just watch all the sharks. So I found some shark socks to make. And I thought, stop, I don't have a plan for November, so I'll just bump those to my November socks, and I'll leave these into my July socks. And since I'm sitting around watching shark things, they should knit up really fast. And you know what? They have been, because I cast them on yesterday, and I am all the way through the hill and working through the gusset. Okay, here they are. Look at my shark fins. What? It's awesome. Okay, this is called The Shark Bite 2, The Revenge by Laura Smoot, S-M-O-O-T. And it is on my first Bad Wolf Girls Studios. This is Alice and the Roses, so an Alice in Wonderland reference. And it looks like water with blood in it. Isn't that so morbidly awesome? Okay, so it's bloody water and shark fins, and I love them. So I'm all the way down to here. Hill is turned on the gusset. I'm sure I'm gonna finish the gusset tonight and probably a good chunk of the foot at the same time, and I'll be done. Okay, I have modified these a ton. I don't know if you remember me talking about how I like my fabric a little bit more drapey, even on my socks, than most patterns are written for. So I have bumped my needles up to a size 2 and taken out a bunch of this one pattern repeat around the outside. So I cast on 56 stitches with size 0 needles, and I just did a 1x1 rib up at the top. I did the color work pattern down to here, and then I basically done my own sock here and just used the color work pattern from the original pattern. So the color work is all the original pattern. I just did a heel flap and gusset. She has a short rose heel. I just wanted to do my normal heel. So heel flap and gusset down to my toe, and then Kitchener stitch close. And just do it all my way. So anyway, look. I love them. They have been so fun to sit and watch Shark Week and make these. I love them. Okay. Oh, and the gray is Cascade 220 gray in the fingering weight, and it's a number. I didn't write down the number, so that's that. The hair is so fun. So here, let me show you. Oh, it's gonna blow out, but I love it. We'll readjust to my face now. Oh, good. Yeah. Those are my socks, and I know that July ends next week, but I think I'm gonna have them done before then. And then I just have a vanilla pattern, vanilla sock for August. But that's also something I bought, was the Bad Wolf Girl Studios. She was so sweet. I sent her a message because I found this pattern last week and then was all excited to have Shark Week socks. So I sent Meg a message and just asked her how fast it could get to me. And she was so nice that she was like, it's already made up and it just needs to go in the mail. And it got to me on it got to me on Saturday. So I was gone camping over the weekend, but I got home on Monday, cast them on. I watched Jaws last night and knit through Jaws, and that's how far I am. I love them. Okay. That's my whip, my other whips. Okay, should we talk about the other one that I have put into hibernation? Because I feel bad about this one, but I just am so tired of it. That's understandable, right? You all understand when you get a project that you go on that seems to go on for so long and is boring is wrong to say. It's not boring. It's a very cool project, but it is, it's just dragging out. It's just dragging out. Okay, this is also a free pattern. It is the Balvrade Hap. It was designed by Rita Taylor for Blacker Yarn. So here's what it looks like. And it is beautiful. It is a beautiful one. I am making it in hand spun, natural colored wool. And I'm just tired of working in white, basically. Oh, but look, Annie, thank you for the little needle topper thingies. They are hanging out on here while I have put this to hibernate. So let me show you what I've got going on and what I've done. Okay, so it's a hap. So it started with this middle, I'm glad those are on. I am glad those are on, Annie, because here I am about to. So you start with this middle triangle that is built here. Pick up all of these stitches along the edge here and go down and out around the back. So I've done all of that. Oh, is that okay? I've done all of that and made this beautiful lace pattern here that I've messed up on a few places, but nobody can tell but me, right? So you knit all the way around there, and then you cast on some stitches here, and you work sideways, down and back, and then knit two together here at the end to attach it to this and to bind off this edge. So I am here in the bind off, and halfway is here. I am not even halfway on the bind off. It is taking me so long because I'm impatient. It's taking me a long time because I'm impatient and I just want to work on something else. So I put it away. So the yarn is a handspun Shetland for my hap, and because of that, it's kind of got some thick and thinness to it. This was pretty early on in my learning how to spin, but I ran out of that here, which you guys can probably tell because all of a sudden I dropped to a very even fingering weight. Right there is where, can you see the line? Whoop, it's right there. I drop into a fingering weight. I found the Cascade 220 fingering looks, is the same color, basically. It's been a nice color to add to it. And so that's what I'll finish up with, is that with this. And I think I just ended with a really thick section of my yarn. If I had lined these up better, my thin ones up here with this, it wouldn't be such a bad transition. But it's okay. But anyway, all that to say that this is hibernating. It's going back in my bag. It's going back in the corner, and I will pull it out to work on it once I have finished my socks and my scarf I'm working on. I'm really excited to show you the scarf I'm working on right now. I forgot part of my sock pattern and just leaving patterns all over the place. Put the wrong pattern in the wrong bag, and that is going to end up being a disaster. Okay, patterns are all in the right place right now. Okay, all put together there. All right, my last whip for this is, does that help a little? We'll stick with that. All right, my last whip is from Margie's Yarn Crafts, and that is here in Granby. I'm not in Granby, but that's nearby in Granby. This is her pattern from the I-91 Shop Hop. It is called Gentle Coast. Let me see if I can. It is this beautiful fade, teeny tiny little tassels down here, scarf. It is beautiful. It caught my attention when we did it, and I have been waiting for a moment to cast it on. I've been waiting for a moment to cast it on. And that moment happened on Friday when I was like, I'm tired of working in white and I am going to cast on something bright and colorful and easy so I can work on it on our camping trip. And I was right. It is colorful and fun and easy and bright, and I love it. Okay. Should I show you my yarns first? And then, yes, because then you can see how they blend. All right, I'm gonna show you the colors first and then how they blend in my scarf so that you can see what they look like. All right, my first color is La Jolla. Is the yarn brand. I've never heard of it before, but I really like the color. And its color is Baia, B-A-I-A, and it's a superwash merino. And then that blends into this one, which is Yugogeni Yarns from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, I can never pronounce it. In my head, I just call it Yug Yarns because that's what they are on Instagram. That's what she is. This beautiful color is called Over the Falls, and it is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon from my stash. I've already made socks out of this. Awesome. All right, then that blends into the color that I'm currently working on, which is 100 Raven Yarns, Yaksha base, 70-20-10 merino yak nylon base, and the colorway Birds of Prey. And then my final color, I don't have enough hands to do this. How do people hold all of them? My last one is Cascade Yarns from my stash again. These last three, all from my stash. That's right, I'm making from my stash. It's awesome. This one is Cascade Yarns 220 fingering, Peruvian Highland wool, and the color is 7813. Those are my colors. Aren't they amazing? So I picked these three out from my stash, then went and found this one at the shop in New Haven. Is it called New Haven Yarns? I don't think so. Anyway, the shop in New Haven that we went to for the I-91 Shop Hop. All right, are you ready to see them blended? Okay, so we start down here. Look at how nice the Baia goes with the Over the Falls. Like, it's perfect. And then that goes all the way until you get this one splotch of that Cascade 220 greenish color. Then you keep going and another eyelet row, and then you start to blend it into here. Anyway, I'm loving it. It is so much fun to make. It's a diagonal garter stitch, and so it's super easy, but it's not totally mindless. There's just a little bit of thinking when you're doing the right side to do the right stitches to make it have the diagonal. The eyelet row thrown in every once in a while is a nice, like, try something different, mix it up a little, and then the color switches are what like keep you going. And there aren't any, I mean, the chunks, the biggest chunk is like this one. And I think this is like 50-ish rows or something. This one's like 25 rows of the same color, then like 50 of the same, and then 25 again, and then you blend, and then you do that same thing. 25-ish rows, 50, I don't know the numbers. And I'm not going to tell you because you need to go buy the pattern yourself. So about that many rows to get, I mean, it's just, it changes up enough that it's not boring. And it's awesome. It's so colorful and it matches my hair. The whole thing. Look at that. Anyway, I don't have anything more to say about that except for that it's been a super easy, super fun, cute knit. Like, just exciting. I love it. It's so drapey. And I went up a needle size, I think. Just to give it a little bit, no, I went down 2 needle sizes because I was knitting so loose on it. But it has a good drape. It feels nice, all like mostly merino superwash wool. Love it. Okay. Okay, so those are my whips for these couple of weeks. I bought and balled up my yarn for my Tanya sweater t-shirt. I don't know, it's kind of a tee, a cropped like tee thing. Oh, I didn't print it out, but I bought my pattern, but here is the yarn I'm using for it. This is Fuse Fiber Studios yarn here in Avon, Connecticut, and it's going to be my top for India Untangled. And I have a black maxi dress I'm gonna wear underneath it, so I'm gonna crop it even shorter. I've got all sorts of modifications I'm gonna do to it to make sure I can make it out of 2 skeins, because I pulled those 2 skeins out of Stash. Stash again. That is 2 projects from Stash for this week. 3 if you count my shawl, because that's been in Stash since like last January. Okay, should we talk spinning for a second? Because I feel like I have a lot to say about spinning, but maybe I don't have much at all. And I'm losing my light because it's going, and I need to tell my children to go to bed. Just got too many things going on. Okay, let's start here. Okay, first things first, I have finished this. Did I show this last time? Maybe I did, I don't remember. Oh, it was on my wheel still. Okay, this is Malabrigo Noob on the color Baya Electrica. And it is 4 ounces of merino, and it has spun up into a 3-ply 570 yards of beautiful squishiness. And I have no idea what made the difference, because Merino Noob has given me a lot of trouble in the past. This stuff spun up like a dream. Very thin. It is fingering weight. It is beautiful. I think this is the most beautiful spin I have ever done. I chain plied it. I spun up my single super thin. I chain plied it, and here we are. It was going to be mittens for my daughter. I think it might still end up being that. It might be color work mittens of some sort. We'll see. I don't know. I spun something up and I don't have a plan for it really. I didn't spin for my plan. It happens. Okay, let me pull out my spinning notes so I can keep things straight. Malabrigo Move. Okay, this is a little bit of Shetland. Tiny. It is 18 yards of 3-ply Shetland, and it was made, not that it was made, it was dyed using a solar dye in my jar, like a mason jar with cochineal beetles. And look, it came out to be this stunning burgundy red. Stunning. I left it in there for like a month, and it is perfect. It smelled horrible when it came out. Warning to everyone, if you do this, it smelled so bad. Not like rotting and stuff. I made sure that I had enough water in, that it was all covered and everything, but it just, like, all of the junk from the wool that's still in there from the sheep, even after you clean it, there's a little bit left, like floated to the top, and like, that was gross. But I laid it out in the sun. It doesn't smell now. It's all fine. So I have that done. Hello. A yarn mustache. Okay, sorry. All right, let's look at my other spinning. I have been spinning a lot of like farm acquired roving, and I had to take a break from that and spin some top. But let me go through all my farm roving first. And maybe a little bit, I should tell a little bit about the sheep as I do this, right? Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is Romney, and this is from the spinning competition that I participated in at Connecticut Sheep and Wool, and they said that we could keep whatever we had left at the end, and so I finished spinning it up. It was, I don't know how many ounces it was at the end. I'm trying to do two things at once. So Romney is a long wool, apparently. Let's see if I can show you a Romney sheep. There's a Romney sheep. This is from the Spinner's Book of Fleece by Beth Smith, and it is just lovely. So yeah, a long wool I think is a good thing for you to know. I did, it spun up pretty thin for me after 185 yards. It is chain plied. I was feeling, is it bad? Chain ply is my, like, either when I'm working with color and I have decided to keep the color together last minute and I didn't plan ahead for my color management, then I'll chain ply it so that so all my color can stay together. I don't really like barber pulling. When I knit things, I can deal with it, but I don't really, it's not my favorite. We'll go with that. It's not my favorite, but I'm not against it. I just would rather not use it. So, but when I'm feeling lazy and I just didn't split it, I don't want to get two bobbins out and work and ply it together, then I just do a chain ply, and it's fast for me to just get a yarn done. So there we go, Romney chain plied. Next is, let's see, we'll go with Shetland. So I had, and I talked about this in my video about Tour de Fleece, which I have not been doing real well on, but it's okay. I'm not too broken up about it. This one is Shetland. I was given it as a gift from Hidden Hills Homestead. The middle daughter, who is the same age as my daughter, gave it to me as a gift, and I'm going to gift it back to her after I knit it into the sheep of a babble hat for her. So here it is. I'm pretty sure it's Shetland. From the staple of it, it might be a blend, but see, this puts Shetland as a multi-coated breed, and I have heard that it is, and I've heard that it is not, and that it just has some of the characteristics of a multi-coated breed, but that it's not from it being multi-coated, it's from just that the wool changes because it's a primitive breed. I'm not sure because I'm not a expert in there, but I've also heard it as a down type fiber, things like that. So Shetland's pretty versatile, and I've spun a lot of Shetland now. This ended up being a 2-ply 34 yards, so I hope that's enough to do the sheep. I think it will be of a child's hat, so I hope so. All right, my next one is a Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz are a rare breed sheep. They have a very fine fiber. There are lots of nips and oils in it as you're spinning it, just because of the fineness of it. It is a beautiful fleece. Here it is. I spun it from a roving bat, and it still has a little bit of the grease in it, so it was lovely to spin in the grease. I did a long backwards draft for these 4. I did a long backwards draft on them. This was from Tranquil Morning Farms, which is a friend of Hidden Hills Homestead. I bought it from her just to get an ounce of it all made up and just to spin. I have a whole fleece of it, so I didn't really need it, but I wanted it. So also from Tranquil Morning Farm is this Gulf Coast 2-ply, and it's still hanging out on here. I haven't taken it off yet. Yeah, just a 2-ply. I think it will end up being a heavy sport DK yarn at the end of the day, and I might dye this up and have it be part of Lydia's hat. So I keep my tag with it on there. I also have some fin from her that I'm going to be spinning up. I might also dye this and that and make those the top and the bottom colors of the hats. I don't know yet. It's all just coming together as I am trying to keep up with my own ideas and my own projects as things are going on. Okay, that is my spinning. I have some stuff on my wheel. I'll just wait and show that to you later because my thing is running out of battery. Okay. Let's talk about stash enhancement because I had stash enhancement, and if I had podcasted on time a week ago, I would have had no stash enhancement and I would have been doing great for my yarn diet for the summer. I'm trying to not buy a lot of yarn until Vermont Sheep and Wool in September, and then Rhinebeck and India Untangled, which I have my ticket for India Untangled. I'm excited. I hope I get to go to Rhinebeck stuff. My sister is getting married the weekend after Rhinebeck, and she wants me out there. We have some family obligations the week. Not family obligations, that's bad. Wedding is the family obligation, which I'm so excited. I get to be maid of honor, and I'm so happy for my sister. But my family, my partner and my 2 kids would want to go somewhere else the week afterwards together as a family. And so we're trying to squeeze all of it in, and some things have to be compromised. I'm not great at compromise, but I'm working on it. I'm working on getting better at it. So anyway, my yarn diet was broken by, I went to a yarn shop called Bees Incorporated in Bar Harbor, Maine when we were up camping in Acadia. And I picked up this lovely, it looks too blue on the screen. It's much more like a bluish green. more like my sweater, almost exactly like my sweater. I gravitate towards the same colors: maroon, mustard, a bluish green, greens. I have a color thing. So here's this. It is local. I have no idea where the tag went. It is a Aran Weight, 100% wool, pretty rusticy feeling. And she said it was a local, it was like New Hampshire. All sheep, processed, everything in New Hampshire, and then she buys it and sells it in her shop. So I wish I knew the brand they made. The skein is like beautiful, and it's like, it's weird to say it's well done because you've just looked at my skeins, right? With my mustache skein, and this one was like solid, right? Like there's no give to this at all. It's wound nice and tight. Sorry, that's a long like tangent about how that was. Okay, so I bought that. I bought the Bad Wolf Girl Studios yarn. And then I was in Watkins Glen, which is this beautiful canyon area in upstate New York. I don't have any reference points to give you to be like, it's so far from Albany or from anything. I don't even know. We drove up there, we did a couple of things in little towns up there, and then we came back. So I don't have anything to reference it by, but I did not buy yarn. I bought buttons by, I think these are also local to the Watkins Glen area. It's a Kittle Eat Ivy Designs, and they're that bluish green again. And look, I think they're so fun. I'm so excited by the texture. I don't have anything that they can go on. I don't have anything I'm planning to make with buttons, but I have more buttons. I keep saying I'll add buttons to my hats, and then I never do. So I should make a hat and add buttons to it. See, I said it again. We'll see if I actually do. All right, that is all my stuff. Blathering section. My kids had a day up at Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts. They were in classes all day. So I went and hung out with a woman who was spinning in a house there. And I just talked to her about some of the history there, some of the history of spinning, what it would have been like at the time, spinning wool versus spinning flax, spinning on a great wheel versus on like a treadle wheel, which is what most of us are used to seeing as a treadle wheel and not a great wheel. And I'll put some of the like video of her spinning and things like that at the end here. So that was really fun to go do. I stopped at those two stores while we were out camping. We spent 5 or 6 days up in Acadia, and my favorite part of Acadia, not Acadia, that's wrong. On our drive up there, we stopped in Portsmouth, I believe, just over the border of Maine, at the International Cryptozoology Museum. And it was everything I hoped it would be. There were Sasquatches everywhere, and let's see, what else was in there? Mermaids and creatures from the Black Lagoon, and a bunch of like myth things, chupacabra, all those sort of things in there. And not real ones, obviously. Stuffed ones and footprints and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. And I got a pen so I can add it to my bag because I was so excited by it. I love Sasquatch. I have a book signed by the expert on Bigfoot that my partner got me while we were dating 12 years ago, and it sits on my shelf all nice and proud. Anyway, I was so excited to go. That's been on my bucket list for New England for a long time, and it's finally crossed off. So we stopped there on the way up, and we went camping nearby and went on a ropes course and things like that. And then we went up to Acadia, and Acadia is beautiful. We went on a whale watching tour where we saw puffins. We didn't see any whales, and is it weird to say that we're okay with that? Because we really went for puffins, because we've wanted to see puffins since Iceland. So we went and saw puffins. It was so cool. They're so cute, and they're much littler than I expected them to be, and they flap really crazy when they get going. Anyway, Acadia was amazing. The beach was amazing. Like, we didn't go to the beach, but like driving along the coast, we were some of the first people in the United States to see the sunrise on the top of Cadillac Mountain. We did a 11-mile bike ride with the kids around some of the glacial lakes up there. We stopped for popovers and lemonade. Anyway, it was a good trip. And then on the way back, we stopped in Boston, caught the fireworks for 4th of July, and then came all the way home. So Acadia was awesome, and then we stopped. Last weekend, we were in Watkins Glen, which is this beautiful canyon ravine thing that they have a paved path and these beautiful like arch bridges over waterfalls, and you go behind waterfalls, and it is like a fairy tale. Like, it's just beautiful, and you feel like you're in a fairy tale. There's moss rocks. We sang a lot of, sometimes to get our kids motivated, we pretend with them, right? When you're on a long hike, we pretend. So we did a lot of Indiana Jones through this, and my kids haven't seen Indiana Jones, but my daughter's named after Indiana Jones, so they know the stories of Indiana Jones and how awesome he is. So we did Indiana Jones, and then Jurassic Park, because it looked like dinosaurs would come out. And I say we played these things, mostly it was that we pretended that we were in those places, and I sang John Williams music the whole time. I'm sorry for anyone who's trying to have a magical romantic moment that had to listen to me sing the theme to Jurassic Park, but it kept my kids going on the 2-mile hike, and it was fun. It was fun. It was beautiful. We loved it. So that's what we have been up to. We have a couple more camping trips scheduled this year. I'm up at a girls' camp for a little while. I'm helping with a Cub Scout camp. I don't know. I'm helping at tons of camps. Shark Week this week, doing all the Shark Week things. Watch Jaws. We're watching the like sharks jumping out of the water. The Mythbusters sharks episodes. Those are our favorites. So we're catching all of that. And then fall hits, really. And I'm ready for fall. Always ready for fall. I could have fall all year round. I am ready for fall. So we'll have fall. Vermont Sheep and Wool I would like to go to, because I think I'd like to go meet the shepherdess from Wing and a Prayer Farm. I follow her pretty avidly on Instagram, so I think I would kind of like fangirl out meeting her, but I would like to go meet her. And then there's Indie Untangled and Rhinebeck, and that's and a wedding and a trip to Mexico, and it's just all so busy. So I am busy for the next couple months, but anyway, thank you so much for joining me today and listening to me. I think I've been going for an hour, so thanks for hanging out and listening to me. If you liked this video, just click the little like thumbs up sign down below. That helps other people find me too if they want to. And you can click subscribe, and every time I do a new video, it'll just let you know that it's there waiting for you, so that you can stay caught up on what I'm doing. and listen to me talk about my knitting and see what's up. So thank you so much for coming, or not coming, that sounds weird. Thank you so much for watching me, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye. Hey, so my kids are at their homeschool classes today at Old Sturbridge Village. They've made marbles for their first class, and then they've got gardening and print block making and paper making and stuff like that later on today. So they're there, and I am hanging out, checking out all the fiber things out here in this 1830s rural village in Massachusetts. So we've seen sheep, I've seen the carding machine run, the carding mill. That was pretty cool. And yeah, I'll keep showing you what I've found. I'm up here in Maine, and I just went to this super cute yarn store, Bees Yarn and Candy. I'm at the library today, and we are yarn bombing the library for one of the team programs I'm helping with. It is 90 degrees outside, and I'm working on a tree outside to wrap it in a sweater. I almost feel bad about that, to wrap the tree in a sweater. Sorry, it was really close. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing today in the heat, and it's looking pretty good. Hi! So. All right, Brian, where are we?
Watkins Glen Gorge
Gorge Trail?